Welcome to Multipolis Mumbai, Theatre and Our City, brought to you by Avid Learning in association with Studio X and Time Out India. I would like to start today's evening with a short introduction to Avid. Avid, as you briefly saw, is an SR initiative fostering creative learning across literature, culture and heritage, and art, including visual, performing, and applied arts. Through workshops, discussion forums, and short-term courses, Avid aspires to engage with all those who like to celebrate the living with the arts. In the same vein, Multipolis Mumbai is a platform for exchange of ideas across the worlds of art, architecture, culture, design, film, food, fashion, literature, music, and philosophy, focusing mainly on our chaotic yet lovable Mumbai and the way it incubates and nurtures new forms of creativity. The past three discussions on architecture, food, and music have been thought-provoking and very well received. Sorry. Today, yet again, Multipolis Mumbai brings to you theatre and our city. The speakers for the evening are Mr. Kausar Thakur Padamsi and Mr. Ramu Ramanathan, with dialogue moderated by Mr. Naresh Fernandez. I would like to take this opportunity to express our gratitude to both the speakers, Studio X and Time Out India, for their support, particularly to Mr. Naresh Fernandez, Rajiv Thakkar, and Chandra Chaudhary Barai, for the valuable time taken to put together this session for Multipolis Mumbai. Without further ado, I would now hand over this evening to Naresh, and once again a very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you.
Good evening, and thanks for coming out on a very soggy evening for this fourth edition of Multipolis Mumbai. And today we're going to focus on the Bombay stage. For reasons that are difficult to understand, many people seem to believe that theatre in this city is dead. Well, they need to look at this map. Can we go to the first slide, please? Oh, that's good. Okay, I'm very low-tech. I can't handle all this stuff. Well, so this map depicts the city's most popular theatrical venues and the linguistic traditions of the productions they host. It appeared in Time Out a little while ago. If you look at it, you can see that there are more than 30 venues on the map, and that they host performances in 17 languages. The major ones, of course, are Marathi, Gujarati, Hindi, and English. But if you know where to look, you could also watch a play in Bombay being staged in Assamese or Tulu, Nepali or Sindhi. It's clear that Bombay has lots of theatre. In fact, my friend, the director, Sunil Chanbag, estimates that about 2,000 plays are staged across the Bombay region each month. Shows, sorry, right, Ramu, you're right. It's also clear that Bombay's theatre history goes back pretty far. Could we have the next slide, please? This is a picture from 1750 of the Bombay Green, or the area that we now know as Honeyman Circle. There are two prominent buildings, St. Thomas Cathedral, which still exists in some form, and the theatre. It wasn't long before English language plays, which were being produced in this theatre, began to have an influence on theatre in Marathi and Gujarati and Konkani too. Theatre groups in these languages began to adopt the lighting effects or the stage backdrops that they saw in these English language productions. and they use them to tell stories in the vernacular languages much more dramatically. Could we have the next slide, please? This, for instance, is a Marathi theater group from 1870. And if you look at the backdrop, you'll notice that the picture, you'll see picture frames and the other trappings of a typical Anglo-Indian home. So there was clearly some Bombay-style mixing and matching happening here. All of this proves that Bombay has a lot of theater, and we've had it for a very long time. But to help us understand how relevant our stage productions remain and the challenges that face Bombay theater today, we're honored to have two long-time theater practitioners with us. Many of Ramu Ramanathan's plays reflect his love affair with our city and its history. Teen Sakina Manzil, for instance, is a love story set against the backdrop of the Bombay dock explosion of 1944, while Cotton 56, Polyester 84 looks at how the closing of the city's textile mills in the 1980s devastated the lives of the people who lived in central Bombay, especially in the Parel area. His other plays include Mahadev Bhai, The Boy Who Stopped Smiling, and most recently, Comrade Kumbhakarna. Many of these plays were recently published as a book by Orient Black Swan. I must modestly add that if you were to look through the collection, you'll find that one of the plays, Jazz, is dedicated to the actor Denzel Smith and to me. Ramu used a couple of articles I had written to tell the poignant story of an aging Bombay jazz musician forced to make his living playing Bollywood music. And it was a fascinating experience to see this process or to see a play develop looking over Ramu's shoulder. Quasar Thakur Padamsee was born to make theater. Both his parents, Dolly Thakur and Alec Padamsee, who are here with us, have been deeply involved with the Bombay theater scene for decades. So it's no wonder that Q was drawn to the stage when he was still in school at Rishi Valley. And he played Scrooge in a production of The Christmas Carol in 1993, when he was a wee lad. In 1999, he founded a theater company called Q Theater Productions, of which he is currently the artistic director. The same year, he also started an All India Theater Initiative, which, among other things, organizes a festival each December. In 2001, he started and continues to edit a monthly theater newsletter called The Script. He has directed and produced more than 20 plays, and when he isn't doing plays, doing that, he's working as a stage manager and as a lighting designer for various theater productions. So, welcome, gentlemen. And we're going to start off with Ramu.
So two things. One is extremely happy to be here. Always a pleasure to talk with Naresh and Quasar. I'm meeting after ages. The other thing is that this little exercise, I was warned, or rather threatened by Naresh, that I have to put together a PPT. I've never done it in my whole life. So this is my first attempt. I've taken a help of a very dear friend who's put it together. So this is it. It's helpful because for the first time, I've actually collated photographs and realized there are huge gaps in the work that one does. And it's again a question of documentation. So I've started off with this. This is actually a workshop we're done with Dadi Padamji. I thought it's a theater evening, so I should start off with something theatrical. So this is that. And this was again a workshop he did with children in Rangashankara in Bangalore. And I just thought it's a nice photograph. What I'm going to do over the next few slides is basically look at plays which one has written, where the city has, in a way, sort of formed it for me, in a way, the backdrop to the whole thing. I have unfortunately done 20 slides thinking it's 20 minutes. So at some point of time, Naresh is going to wave his hands and I'm going to ignore him. Yeah. So the next. So this is, again, a play. This is how it began for me. It's a play called IMI. It's a one-act play. I've written a lot of one-act plays. Like a lot of the playwrights in Marathi and Gujarati in Mumbai. This is Mithibai College, which used to invest huge amounts of money into one-act play competitions. This particular play was ghost directed by Akash Khurana, and Akarsh's father for some of you. This is also a rare photograph because there's me in it, which I was obviously doubling in for an actor who wasn't present. The reason I selected this is that Mithibai and NM in those days used to dominate one-act play competitions. It was like India-Pakistan. So it was very fierce, very competitive. We had, I think, Ashutosh Gawarikar, Neeraj Vora, Naushal Mehta, and that gang. NM was Mahendra Joshi, Amir, who else? Makaran Deshpande. So it was two sets of very talented people who used to work together. The reason, and then of course these play competitions used to be staged either at Copwood, University, INT and so on, and there were cash prizes. So most of the time we participated in this because of the money involved in it. So it was completely driven by finance. As I said, colleges spent a lot of money. Mithibai used to pump in those days 75,000, 1 lakh for a one-act play competition. It was serious. It was like inter-school cricket or inter-college cricket. The reason one-act plays have been my backbone to a large extent in my formative years is, again, three reasons. Writing a one-act gives you the stamina to write full-length plays, and this is what we found with a lot of the playwrights who started off their career with one-act. The second thing is the college provides you the space and as well as the money invested into the one-act play. So these are certain 2 or 3 things, and I think also the rigor of theatre gets sort of ingrained in you in those first 2 or 3 years. So I value this. The other reason I sort of take intercollegiate very seriously is because it's probably an activity which is very peculiar to Mumbai, Pune, and you still have Purushottam Karandikar and so on, where you have about 1,000 play, being competing and so on. So it's a very serious activity, huge amount of youngsters who participate and contribute. Next. So this was a play that was written in '92. It was penned for the Hindu, which had a playwriting competition. It's a take on the Mahabharata. I was very heavily influenced by a Marathi Konkani Malwan play called Vastraharan, which used to be performed by Machindra Kamble. The play has done something like 5,000 shows. The first time when I saw it, I realized that I didn't understand a word of it because it's a dialect of Malwan. And then subsequently, one saw shows. And so these are 2 theatre companies. The group on top is again a traveling Tamasha theatre company that is run by Raghuveer Khedekar. Again, used to be an integral part of Mumbai's theatre. Now, because of there are totally about 250 Tamasha companies in Maharashtra, big and small. Raghuveer Khedekar is amazing because, they do something like 400 to 500 shows in a year. They have about 100 to 150 employees. The tragedy today is that a Raghuveer Khedekar performance cannot come into Mumbai to perform because of certain laws which are governing, and then certain subsidies that the government provides for diesel. So 10 o'clock ban on Tamasha, and so this has again been a tradition that which was prevalent in the late 80s, early 90s, and been a very critical part of my growing up. Vastraharan, again, 5,000 shows, as I mentioned, which is one part of it. It's a play in which he makes fun of the Hindu gods and goddesses. And in those days, it was okay to do so. Then suddenly in the late 90s, I think it was a Bajrang Dal or Hindu Mahasabha, which was a bit offended by what he was doing. So basically what he does is he's an illiterate man, he's praying to the god. So he said, Tuza Aitza Gocha Namaha, Tuza Bapansa Aitza Gocha Namaha, vagera. And so obviously there were people who were offended. So they came on stage to beat him up. The difference in those days was there were about 20 of these guys on stage because you had the Pandavas, the Kauravas, the gods and goddesses. So they, instead of just running away, actually stood up and fought against these guys. And as a result, the audience stood up and fought against them. So, as artists, sometimes you are asked, why don't you stand up to this sort of a thing? And later when I asked Machindra that, how did you get away with it? He said, nobody can beat a Hindu god, And then subsequently what happened was the protest continued non-violently. It used to happen outside the theatre. And Machindra, being Machindra, is a bit of a haram. He's no more now. But what he used to do is he used to send out the snacks and tea to the protesters outside before the show, like samosas and batata vadas and so on, and derive PR mileage out of it. So he used to manipulate them in a way, and he used to say, look how holier than how I am. So he made his point, they made his point, and everybody lived happily. So this is the sort of tradition that Mumbai has, is something that I respect greatly. Next slide. This is a children's play which the gentleman at the bottom is Volker Ludwig. He started this in Berlin called Grips Theatre. Again, huge tradition of children's plays in Maharashtra, in Mumbai, which is something one is born and brought up on. And typically you see this happen during the summer vacations and Diwali and so on. I saw a few of the Grips plays in Pune where, again, Chand Chote, White Mote, etc., which Mohan Agashe had sort of brought down, adapted, and they'd workshopped and so on. Again, 350 shows, 500 shows and so on. The difference between the Grips theatre movement and what was happening in Maharashtra at that time was that these were plays not about fairies and, demons and, those kind of things. These are real issues. That was one point of it. The second part of it was a very conscious anti-establishment. And the third thing was, within that anti-establishment voice, it was entertaining. It was still continue to remain very good and solid, children's theater. So, Mohanagashi can be persistent, and as a result of which I wrote this particular play, which fortunately Sanjana of Prithvi Theatre produced, and I think it did about 150 shows, primarily because LPP was producing it. So we got to rehearse in Prithvi, we were able to assemble it, and it was again the good old days where you could rehearse 6 months for a play, so it was really good, so I think, so this was that play, it went on, and then we did a couple of other children's theatre thing, and the Grips Theatre still goes on, it still functions in parts and pockets. So you have in Calcutta, in Bangalore, and to some extent in Pune and Mumbai. So this was again written around the same time. This was more prop. These are again some influences that, I'd seen a show of Gadar once in Nagpur, which completely blew me away, because here was a man, there was this crowd behind, and he was to come, and he didn't turn up. He turned up 2.5 hours late, and then suddenly there was this police van in which he was taken away because it was told that he is going to appear, and then he appears, and they're, this is on top of a van actually. So he's being taken away by the police, and he's performing. And I thought, this is amazing, and we could hear him, we were standing somewhere, and so this was, I thought, theatre at its best for me, and it is something that really stirred me. And then simultaneously, I come from Kerala, part Vadakanjeri, which is North Palakkad. So there is an art form called Chakyar Koot, which is again a one-person thing, which is within the tradition. So you have the Kathakalis of the world, which is very Sanskritized, very codified. Chakyar is performed by a small community of people within that. And this gentleman is one of the non-Chakyars who's performing a Chakyar. And again, with Chakyar, what happens is he's got a little thing on his, you can't see it in this photograph, he's got a little ball on his nose and so on, which means he has the right to criticize the king. So he uses stories from the Puranic tales, and then he criticizes the king. You're entitled to do that. And it's usually a sort of preview to the main show. So before a Kathakali show or something, he would come. So these were the two sort of formative things for Curfew, which was a play with lots and lots of songs. And so the play was written sans the songs, and then we had Manoj Agarwal, who's the guitarist, who also played the people tree, hence the leaves. And so he came in, and then we improvised, and we created some, I think, pretty cool songs. Yeah, next. Sorry. Okay, so this is Mahadev Bhai. It was a one-person. That's the library at Mani Bhavan, where I read some 20-odd diaries that Mahadev Desai had penned. And that's, of course, Gandhiji's room in Mani Bhavan, based on which we created the set and made it as minimal as that. One person was basically, only Gemini at that time wanted to work with me, so it became very clear that I'll write the play for him. And the second thing is, again, a tradition of one person in Mumbai. Again, something that has been a part of watching. So whether it was Pula Deshpande's Batatachi Chal, or even Lakshman Deshpande's plays in Marathi, or Sushma Deshpande in Hoimi Savitribai. So again, a tradition of a lot of very good one-person plays that one had seen over a period of time, and obviously, you're young and foolish, so you want to better that. So this was an attempt at that. Again, very happy with what this play has achieved. One reason we did it one person at that time was we didn't believe that it would do more than 5 or 6 shows. It's really a lecture demonstration on Gandhiji, and it just goes on and on for 2 hours. So, and there's just one actor, so there's nothing theatrical that's really happening. But it's been amazing, and Gemini, hats off to him, has performed it in different parts of the country in different languages, including shows in, Vedchi near Surat, where they've done a show for 4,500–5,000. Vedchi is where Mahadev Desai was born and, sort of grew up and so on. So those kind of shows, and it's good because he's able to, because of the format of the play, perform it in colleges and other kind of spaces as well. Yeah. Then again, then there was a lot of work that one did with young people. So this was a reading group that we started off in the University of Mumbai. They were literature students. Now some of them are full-time theatre practitioners in some form or the other. So we used to have reading groups where we read the great works, because that was something one felt that, people were not reading, say, Lysistrata or the classics that are available. So, and then this was, again, coming from Kerala, there's Vaikam Mohammad Bashir, who's God for us, literally as a, literary figure. So this was the book that he had written, Me Grandad Had an Elephant. We adapted that. And again, we kept it as a stage reading. Again, the whole idea was that we could manipulate it and perform it in any place, anytime, without losing the sense of theatre. This was done, and again, this was the photograph is actually shot on the top of a tank at YWCA, which, along with Sunil Shanbag, we try to convert it into a theatre space. So these are the sort of spaces we would try to perform in. We tried to run this. I think we succeeded for about 6.5 months. Every Sunday we used to do shows there. That again is a series of plays which were adapted from the Katha, Yuva Katha series, 7 stories, again adapted, performed in different schools and colleges. The whole idea was very straightforward, that we wanted to prove a point that theatre is accessible, it's doable, and anybody can do it. You don't need to have funds, and you don't need to have stars, and that sort of thing. So typically you would have a performance like this, and somebody from the group would preferably stay back and work with the children or students in that institution, short workshop, and just try to give some kind of a module which could be followed. So again, we try to keep things very simple. We said that this is, Grandad of course was a complex piece of work, but with things like Time to Tell a Tale, we just try to make theatre accessible. Next, thanks. Sakina Manzil is